All right, Paul Cappiello here this afternoon, and today we are talking flowering dogwoods. I may be biased, but flowering dogwood, Cornus, Florida, has got to be one of the very best small flowering trees for the landscape and garden. There's just almost never a day it doesn't look great. Today, of course, they're peak flower, and we've got a great assortment right across the street from my house, my neighbor's yard. The straight flowering white type right in the center, one of the paler pink forms to the left, and then one of the deepest reds on the right. So we'll take a walk over and talk about these guys. Now, flowering dogwood is native throughout much of eastern and parts of central North America. As I said, it's a great small flowering tree for the garden, but because it's got nice uniform open branching, you get a little sun through so you can garden under it. Those white or pink bracts up against the blue sky are pretty tough to beat. It grows in a wide range of soils as long as you give it some reasonable moisture. And then not only does it have great flowers, it's got great fruit in the fall, great fall color as well. All right, first, let's look up close at the flowers. You want to win yourself the neighborhood barbecue, you ask your neighbors what color are the flowers on a dogwood. Of course, the flowers are yellow-green, they're not white. Those things in the centers are actually the flowers. The white are just protective bracts that just expand and give us a great show in the spring. So this is your typical four-bracted flowering dogwood, and those little green, yellow-green flowers are just getting ready to open up. And again, you take that white bloom up against that blue sky. Not much compares with it anywhere on the planet. We're just lucky enough to live where it grows. Now I'm going to walk over to the left to one of the paler pink ones. And all the pink ones are going to be grafted forms, which means you have a wild type rootstock and you've got the desirable cultivar grafted on top of it. And here's a shot, a nice medium pink one. Again, those yellow-green center flowers. But what's important about why it's important to know that these are grafted is sometimes you'll get these suckers that'll come up from the root system and you end up with a wild shoot running through the middle of it. Sometimes you drive through town this time of the year and you see what I call these miracle dogwoods. It's a pink dogwood, but it's got a white shoot shooting out of the top of the tree, and that's just because you got a sucker from the rootstock that grew up through it. And so what you have to do is, if you grow one of these grafted dogwoods, you have to make sure that if you get any shoots coming up from below the graft down at ground level, you prune those out, because being on their own roots, they're going to be more vigorous than the grafted portion. So that's Cornus, Florida, variety rubra. There's a lot of named forms of the pale or medium pink types. And then I'm going to wander over here to the right, and this is a great specimen of one of the darkest red forms. This is either going to be a royal red or Cherokee chief. They're essentially the same thing, but another grafted one, but about the darkest bract color you'll get on all of them. And again, up against, there's a little blue sky up there. Beautiful contrast in color. And then we'll look up close. My neighbor won't mind me wandering over here looking at her dogwoods. Let's look at the color on that. Rich, saturated, rosy pink with a white center. These dark pink types tend to have a little bit of red in the new foliage when it comes out in the spring, but about the best looking and darkest color you'll find on any kind of a dogwood. So that, again, probably Cherokee chief or royal red, but a lot of different varieties out there. One of the best dogwoods on the planet. So there you have it, flowering dogwood. Beautiful day, April in Kentucky. Doesn't get any better than this. Enjoy.